Nobody really talks about the most confusing part of divorce. It's not the argument, it's not the paperwork, it's not even the breakup announcement. No, it's the awkwardness, the space where, or let me say, that space where you are no longer together, but you are not fully separated either. That space where you can sit in the same room, laugh at the same jokes, and at the same time you can show up for the kids. However, in the process of doing all of that, something feels off. That's the space Kandi Burruss recently described while she was talking about her divorce from Todd. She called it an awkward space. And today, we are unpacking why that awkward space exists, why it's normal, and why it might actually mean you are healing, not you are failing. Okay? Welcome to Stand in Your Power.
Stand in your power. Own every minute, every hour. This is your story. Starting now. Stand in your power. Let the world see how. Stand in your power. Stand in your power now. Turn up your voice, your truth, your wow. Stand in your power. This is your channel now.
When people hear the word awkward, they think silence, they think tension, they think forced politeness. But divorce awkwardness is deeper than that. Okay, so what does awkwardness mean? You know this person intimately, but you no longer share that emotional access. And you are still tied together legally, socially, and even sometimes financially for life. You are no longer husband and wife though, but at the same time, you are not strangers. You are still co-parenting, okay? You are still attending events where you bump into each other. You are still navigating shared history. You might have the same friends, but the intention has changed. And when intentions change, guess what happens? The energy will definitely change. And that's the thing that creates the awkwardness is the energy that creates the awkwardness. So why is this phase inevitable? It's inevitable because divorce is not one decision. It's a series of emotional deaths. First, the marriage dies. Then, the future you imagine together is gone. Then, the version of you that stayed too long or tried too hard, that version of you is gone forever. And during that process, you are still required to interact with one another. And that's why it feels very uncomfortable. In that space, you are grieving. And at the same time, you are adjusting. Kandi said, divorce makes you look at each other differently. And I agree. That statement alone tells me everything. Because once clarity shows up, you can't pretend again. You can no longer pretend. You can't unsee the patterns. You can't unsee the truths. You can't go back to emotional blindness. You've seen everything. So the reality is what it is. Now let's talk about the part that is most difficult, and that's the part that a lot of people ignore the most. You see, Kandi and Todd, they are still spending holidays together with their children. And I want to be clear, that does not mean that they have reconciled. No. It just means that they are responsible for these children. Now, here is the tension. You are doing family things together without any form of, romantic attachment. It's possible. It is called showing up. You are showing up for your children without any form of emotional intimacy whatsoever to this person. Now, it's hard. I've been there, and that's why I'm saying that it's hard adjustment. Because you're still sitting next to the person who knows your past, but no longer has access to your heart. Now, this doesn't mean bitterness. It just means boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. It means boundaries are forming. And let me tell you the truth. Boundaries feel uncomfortable at first. But here's something that, grown folks will need to understand. The fact that you are calm in public does not mean private agreement. You can be calm and still have your areas where you disagree with. Even when people are respectful publicly, there are still issues like the legal conversations that you must have, the custody negotiations that you must have, the financial discussions that you must have. Okay? And let's not even talk about the emotional recalibration that has to happen quietly. And that's what those two people are going through at this point in time, or any person divorcing. Now, divorce requires cooperation, but cooperation does not require closeness. You don't need to be close to cooperate. And that's where, in between that space, is where the awkwardness lies. Okay? You are being civil, but at the same time, you are protecting yourself. If that balance is not there, it can create a lot of things. So that balance in itself is very, very delicate. Okay? Now, if divorce isn't awkward, it says to me that someone hasn't detached yet. Someone hasn't left. So that awkwardness means that you are no longer pretending. It means that you are no longer performing emotional labor. You are not performing any form of emotional labor whatsoever. You are not sacrificing your truth to keep the peace. You are taking the reality for what it is. It means you are transitioning from we. You are transitioning from we to me. And that transition, oh my God, it can be very, 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 very uncomfortable. But a little bit of discomfort here and there is not failure. In my opinion, I would say that discomfort is growth. So that awkwardness, that transitioning is where the growth lies. So she also said something, Kandi said something. She said she hopes they can be friends someday. Now, in my opinion, that was honesty. That was her being honest. That wasn't avoidance. There can be friendship after divorce. However, friendship after divorce requires a great deal of emotional distance. It requires you healing and having healed expectations. It requires you creating new boundaries and time. Why do I say time? I say time because all of these things that I've talked about, you cannot rush it. The honest truth is that you cannot be friends very early. If you try it, it will lead to mixed signals. It will lead to emotional confusion. Somebody's like, what's going on here? What's happening? And then it will also lead to delayed healing. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is allow the space to exist. Allow that space to exist without any form of explanation. And in all of these things that I've said, that's where the awkwardness lies, because you are transitioning from what you used to know to something new. So here are the lessons for you watching this. You don't have to hate someone for you to leave, for you to detach. You don't have to destroy the history that you've had for you to move forward. And you don't have to be loud just for you to be powerful. Now, it's okay to be awkward. Awkwardness is not weakness. It's the sound of your life rearranging. That is what I see as the awkwardness after divorce. It is the sign of your life rearranging itself. It's the pause between who you were and who you are becoming. If you are in an awkward space right now, and you are going through divorce, separation, or even emotional detachment, let this video free you. It's okay to be awkward. Discomfort does not mean that you chose wrong. It often means you finally chose yourself. Okay? You standing in your power doesn't always feel confident at first. Sometimes it feels very unfamiliar. And that in itself is okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay for you to be in an unfamiliar space. With that being said, if this resonates with you, like the video, subscribe to Stand in Your Power. And let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Okay? Have you ever been in an awkward space with someone that you once loved? If you have been there, I need you to understand that you are not alone. I will see you in the next one.
Take what you learned, walk in your truth. Until next time, stand in your power.